Did you already pay?
No.
Okay, cool. And you guys didn't pay up front either, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did pay?
Yeah.
Bastards. Oh, we're live streaming.
We're
I didn't mean
live.
to swear right away to start this transparency thing. Yeah, so here we are. You want to?
Yes, welcome to Lanski's Unicorn Onboarding, aka Unicorn Commitment Meeting. Okay. Maybe you can just set it like up there.
Okay, but the thing is, if it's up there, then the mic doesn't. So we do have to kind of just put it in front of everybody who is talking.
Like in the
Corner? Here. This makes it easy to swivel.
The easy swivel. So who's ever talking, the mic is the computer.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thanks for coming, guys. I'm just going to open this meeting up with some words for our time together. And these unicorn commitment meetings are the start of like a new journey of dedication with Gibbon. It's a great time to reflect on like why we're really here, like what draws us as souls with purposes to this community. So just fall into that space. One could say we're here to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. I say we are all afflicted and we are all comfortable. May our time together in this DAC be a comfort and a confrontation. May we here find peace in times of tumult. May we here invite tumult into lives of peace. May we here find calm in times of restlessness. May we here allow restlessness to evolve into action. Let this be the place you consider what you've never considered. Let this be the place you imagine for yourself something new and unthinkable. May this hour bring dreams of new ways of being in the world. Come, let us unicorn together.
Yay!
It's a unicorn prayer that you wrote.
It almost sounds like the Tao, like Tao Te Ching. What did it come from?
It came from this like Unitarian minister.
It's nice. Cool.
Wow, super nice.
Yeah, I substituted worship hall for
Well, yeah.
Okay.
We'll replace them soon enough.
Yeah. All churches now.
Yeah, exactly. The new religion. You didn't know it. Skip it.
Definitely building in separation of church and state now.
Gestalt is short for culture.
Yeah. Cult is short for culture.
Okay, so Lanski, you are here with your lovely sponsors, which is me and Chris. And I usually facilitate these meetings. There's usually 4 people, so now we have Griff as our wonderful fourth.
Yeah,
Our
I'm gonna practice. Am I gonna facilitate, or am I just here as a witness?
I think you're just here.
I'm just here.
Yeah.
I like that. That's great.
And we would love to hear from you. What is your sense of your life trajectory, and how does that fit into the purpose of Giveth that you, as you interpret it?
My life trajectory is a boring one. It's like a classic story of being born in a small village, doing whatever they tell you, go study a career, find a job, and one also of some sort of insatisfaction with that as well, or as you mentioned in the prayer at the beginning, of restlessness. I would say that I'm not dissatisfied with my life at all. actually totally the opposite. I've managed to take advantage of every opportunity that has crossed me, and if I think that if I'm proud of one thing, is that of how well I lived and how happy I am knowing so little and being challenged so little. So when I came across Giveth, there was such a community that had so much to offer and to share, and was like so radically open that basically like that was something already. It didn't even have to be a blockchain community. I happen to be very interested in blockchain, and I've always been really interested in technology, and I've always been really interested in social good and social impact as well. And that's, speaking about my trajectory, that's where I am right now. Because I started journalism because I wanted to change the world with my writing, and so very, very quickly realized that was not going to happen. Then got diverted from this mission, did an MBA, got into the business side, and ended up being the head of CSR, the social responsibility for the APAC region of a big IT company. So going back to the social aspect of it, so IT company, social good, like that seemed like a pretty good fit. Except there was something else. There was something else that didn't quite fit, and it doesn't still quite fit, which is all this outside of the corporate world, all of these challenges, all of these interactions with people, they're all still delimited. In the corporate world, they're all still delimited by the same pattern, the same hierarchical structure, the same norms. You don't have to create anything, which is very comfortable in a way, and people feel really comfortable on these environments where they know what's expected from them, and they just have to comply with whatever they say. And I came across Giveth, it was like, oh, there's so much going on there, and it also happened to be social impact and technology. Like, wow, like so it's super cool. And I came to Thailand. The first time, like about a year ago, a little bit less than a year ago. It was in February, and met you guys, and since then I've been collaborating with you and like learning so much. So for me, it fits in this like on a very selfish way. It fits in my learning, everything that's outside of this corporate, comfortable world that I know how to move into, and like. But it's not enough. I'm not growing. It's not challenging. Doesn't give me much except money.
Yeah.
Giveth gives you, or gives me, the rest.
Wow, well said.
It's nice. It's a nice compliment for giving.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, that's often like when you know you're in the right places, when what feels like selfish to you is like totally altruistic to the people that you're with. I mean, like, whatever organization or scenario that is receiving you is like, no, we feel selfish to be like taking your time. You're like, I feel selfish. That's like this great sign of synergy. Right?
Wow, that's a great compliment as well.
Yeah, to us, you've just given us a lot of your time. You've contributed a lot with your ideas on strategy, on like how to organize ourselves. You've written beautiful texts. So that if you have been selfish, well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good fit so far.
So you talk about wanting to, those missing like pieces that you want to learn and keep developing yourself on. And I'm curious, like, just what, if you can tell us about like the skills that you already have, and also the ones that you're working on developing. Like, what's in this Lanski tool belt that's unique to you that you can offer to this mission?
Right. So, I would say my toolkit is very, very geared to business, and like, here's where the problem comes. Like, okay, like how can I link my skill set with Giveth apart from, and that's what we were talking the other day. How can I link my hardcore corporate toolkit that allows me to scale really quick the corporate ladder to whatever, onto something where this has less value. For example, I'm really good at finding ways to make money, or to finding, maybe not so much on finding ways to make money, but on seeing the big picture and saying, okay, how can we link this need that somebody has with that, and we can create something that actually fulfills this need, and what things do we need to do, or how do we need to structure ourselves in order to make this thing happen. We're not about money and Giveth. So I need to use this in a different way.
Sometimes, like, how much we are not about money it can be problematic, right? And sometimes it's really helpful to have somebody who has those skills, right? And just that mindset of, like, how do we turn certain relationships and resources into more tangible financial resources. It's definitely not invaluable in this space, am I right?
Good, but at the same time, I see, for example, Parker and his like granting initiative, like much more useful, because that's a good way to get money, like on grants, and like that's the non-profit way of getting money, right? Because I feel like if I go in and I go like, hey, so our first product should be something that we can charge, and we're going to charge for this, and they're going to actually accept the charge to pay for this because that's something that people need. We don't want to charge the NGOs. We don't want to charge the NGOs. I don't want to charge the NGOs. The investors, no, the investors. Why would they use us, or the investors, or the donors? Why would they use a platform that takes money if what we decided to create is something to avoid the loss, to avoid this gap, the middleman, like this is not centralization, we're centralizing, and so it's definitely challenging to find this, but at the same time, I'm really happy with the complexity of Giveth, right? Because I move well in complexity, and now with Michael and I align very well with a lot of the things that Michael says, and Giveth as a community of technology for good, or blockchain for good, is a good framework. And it has the first spin-off, which would be the Giveth DAC. I think DAC 1, right? Volumia. Or DAC. Yeah, DAC. There you go. I like DAC.
No, DAC.
Oh well. So yeah, the Giveth DAC is the first spin-off, and it's great. It came from Giveth. It's like MetaMask came from Consensus, right? Or like it's a product, and you don't need to like love Consensus to love MetaMask, or you don't need to use MetaMask to work at Consensus. Or maybe you know, this is one of the best ways to interact with Web3, but anyway. So it's a spin-off, and it comes, and everybody knows that they come together, and the fact that we're spinning off things gives us growth and maturity, and we expand our network. And we've nurtured the Giveth DAC, and now it's popping away into something.
You're talking about the DAP now, I think.
DAC.
Yeah.
Was I saying DAC?
Yeah.
Sorry.
DAC.
The DAP.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So many terms. But I got what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and I move well on that, and I think that the mind map that Danny made was very clear on what relates to what, and it's really cool to see.
But so thinking about like your skill set and your tool belt, as you call it,
completely went.
No, it's not, because it's okay, because you move well in complexity, and that's a very important skill to have in this. But so if you also think about what you've already contributed to Giveth, if you think about those things, then some of the skills you have already come to mind, I think.
Yeah, like I've been doing writing, but as I was saying to Lorelai, I do not want my contribution with Giveth. Like if I can only do writing with Giveth, I definitely need to scale down the amount of hours that I spend with you. If it's something else, because for the writing, I don't need to keep up to date with everything that happens and read all the riots and read all the, and attend the meetings. It's more like okay, I have a general idea. You need this text to be written. Gotcha. Call with Griff. Call with whoever is leading the project. What do you need? What's it? Can you explain me this? Okay. Gone. Yeah.
And if you think about,
which is an option.
Yeah, but no. If you think about the things you wrote about, there was this one document that we put on the wiki about you talking when we onboard people and the structures for governance and so on. So you have a good insight of how procedures work and how you can put the framework together to make things work well. You have good strategic insight, according to me.
Yeah.
And so that could be that's also writing.
Yeah.
And for that, you do need to know Giveth really well and attend meetings and be with us and feel us well.
Yeah, feel the.
So that could be also when you talk about complexity, getting that complexity and making some sense of all this complexity. Maybe that's also part of the skill set that you do have that you can apply and give it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Another skill set that I have is it's not much of a skill set, but just like a situation that I'm finding myself. It's like that I do come across a lot of people that work in the development world in Asia, and development meaning social development, it's not developers. And I get a lot of feedback on both in the blockchain space and also in the NGO space. Feedback on how to use the app, how to, for example, the blockchain labs situation where I just met with them on Friday. This sort of to bring people in and go okay,
You're a connector.
Exactly. Bring people in okay, this is really cool. You should use that. Okay, that's great, fantastic.
You are a communicator and you are a connector of people as well, and that's very important.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely wanted to speak to that, that you are you're a relationship builder, and that's super valuable. And there's been several opportunities when you have sort of evangelized about Giveth and brought connections and. Whether it's, the youth leadership summit that you found yourself at, or you being in the neighborhood of things that are going on in Southeast Asia and being able to attend events that none of the rest of us can make because we're mostly Europe and US. And your relationship with Tom Thomason from Holacracy, and I see you as just having really immense value with building relationships that bring in value to the Giveth ecosystem. And so I know with me and Chris, we see all these talents that you have, and we've had this conversation a few times in the past couple days of how are you feeling about the Unicorn DAC? What do you feel you can contribute? And you have a tendency to focus on, what are the skills that I'm using in my job right now, my corporate job. And I think that this will probably be an ongoing role for Chris and I as your advocates in this.
As your uncle.
To remind you, you have all these other skills that you've been actively using and contributing that you're really good at, and don't pigeonhole yourself into thinking that you're not that you're too corporate, all your lifestyle or your skills is about that. You've already contributed so much awesome stuff.
You do it in a very intuitive way.
Yeah, I think maybe you don't name all of those things as this is my skills contribution, but we see it as.
Yeah, because you've talked a lot about I'm used to doing this in a corporate environment, but the things that you bring together come very spontaneously. Your thoughts on the Lumios and the texts you write, when the connections you bring, it just makes sense because you get what we are about. You get what Giveth is about in a very deep sense, and it started a year ago when we were in Chiang Mai, and I read your text. You wrote a text also for the for status. Actually, it's a nice circle.
Yeah,
Now Jared is here. And you wrote like
it all comes together.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was.
The future of Web3.
Yeah.
With the we of Web3,
The we of
that
Web3,
was,
yeah,
and then I saw like he gets it. He truly gets it, and there are not a lot of people who get it that instantly. And like that was already the moment. We didn't have the term then to like, and we didn't have the unicorn DAC.
Yeah.
But then I already was convinced. Like, yeah, he that's the most essential thing. And when you're there, then all the rest, like you say, you said you learned a lot during the past year. Well, yeah, that's because you're bringing a lot of parts of your personality into this give it craziness, which is really a big added value.
And also remembering that a big role of being a unicorn in this DAC is delegating funds every week as a way to govern the trajectory of Give It. And I think you're maybe the only person so far in the DAC who has like a really strong background of like training and working in business development and business strategy. Like you're formally schooled for this, and you spend like probably most of your time like on the base doing a lot of that. And so like that'll be really cool to have you coming with that perspective to your job of looking at the milestones every week and really going from this like business strategy perspective, like which things should I fund? And that's like what this governance experiment is about. So it's really valuable to have someone coming from where you're at.
Actually, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this part in particular because this is something that can be seen two ways. It can be seen like, oh, I like this milestone, check, delegate, and oh, I like this, or okay, or what I see. I always see the technology as an enabler for communities, right? Like the same way as Giveth or the Giveth app is an enabler for a community to be created around this this cause or whatever it is. The Unicorn DAC should be a way to look at the milestone and go like, reach out to that person that's created the milestone and go like, hey, so what's your actually like this milestone is good, but what's your vision on that project? Is that something that how do we link it back to the process? How do we link it back to our purpose? We're a purpose-driven organization, right? We want to make the world a better place. How are you doing it? And is there a better way of allocating those funds? Because like that's what you're doing is really cool, but
Some constructive feedback.
Yeah.
right. And can we make sure, like I think the NGO world has a responsibility on how do they spend their funds. NGO non-profit world has a responsibility on how do they spend their funds, because if you can support your friend's project, which will save one person, that's great, that's fantastic. But if for the same amount of money you can support somebody else's project who you don't know, but is saving 100 people, you're morally responsible for these 99 people that you have not saved by donating to your friend. So if you still want to donate to your friend, or like you have a responsibility. And when I say saving 99 people or whatever, it can be to advance the Ethereum community faster, or like all this time that you're going to waste by doing wasteful or not so targeted research or work, or developing something that's non-core or will not impact the development of the Ethereum ecosystem that fast. You're morally responsible for slowing it down. So you can do two things. You can just either go for the project that goes faster, or if you really want to stick to Giveth, and I think that Giveth will make the things and has the power and the culture to make the things better, then you're morally responsible to go to the person in Giveth that's doing something that's less effective than the other and go like, either you work with this other, or maybe this is a better way of doing it. And doing this pedagogical thing and bringing all this, like what you're doing is really cool, but is it the best thing that you can do?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great perspective to be having in these weekly rounds of like, the delegation.
So I'm excited. Yeah, so I'm excited for the Unicorn DAC because it allows you to do exactly that, to create this connection between the projects of people and the purpose, and why am I donating and why am I not donating, etc.
Yeah,
that's it.
You're one of the persons that, how I often describe it is like, I think you could be one of those people who can help to bring focus for the projects. Like, is it making sense what you're doing? Thinking of the long-term goals, and that can be for Given, and that can be for projects in the Given galaxy, so it can be AC and wider.
Yeah,
and that's very much appreciated.
Yeah. So that's something that I can, like, I'm really. I compromise. I compromise. That's like a Spanish word that I
understand.
I know that I want to do, and I really want to do it, and that's like I commit.
Yeah.
I commit to do that. Like that's super cool for me to do.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's great out of value.
Speaking of your commitments, I just want to affirm that you have definitely like well documented your roles in the roles sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And in our previous roles process, this past one, there was lots of positive feedback towards your roles as to just people being excited about the value that you're adding. So another step of this onboarding process is just presenting your roles in that format and having positive response.
Which was being a writer, right? Was there any other?
There's no.
It's
There's
limited
Hanbala.
right now.
Hanbala.
Oh yeah, Hanbala.
And
Yeah.
there's one other.
Writer, I think.
I think I just put writer.
Yeah, white paper support is like
white paper
another.
support. Yeah.
But white paper support is done as a temporary one.
Yeah.
And all you really need is like one role.
You only need one.
Starting.
But the Hanbala role is also good. Like, that's
I'm excited about this.
So you got a good check mark on that one. And I feel like we can just go and check off some of these other requirements here.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a fun one because you wrote it. Have you read and do you agree to the advice process?
No, actually, I think what I wrote was shit, and I don't know. No, yeah, cool. Of course.
Cool. The mission statement.
Yes, of course.
And the manifesto, that big, beautiful.
I wrote all of that. I read all of that.
Wow, you wrote
the
all
different
many
ones.
personalities.
I read
The different ones you're passing the test.
including the one that you wrote as well, that I wrote as well.
We're all just
Yeah.
I mean Gaia, right? Like we're all connected.
the conflict resolution model.
No. No, I haven't.
Haven't read it?
I haven't read it.
Stop the meeting!
Oh
Well, we might have to put you on hold.
no! You're in unicorn purgatory.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a big red thing here, right there.
But I think I did. It's on the wiki, right?
It's on the wiki, yeah. And it was put up like.
Let me just check. Let me just check if I read it or not. Because like I recently reread the
Manifesto.
no
The
the book, the Remaining Organizations, and it talks about the conflict resolution process.
But this
So
is different.
exactly. So I'm mixing them up.
It comes from me. It's restorative justice space.
Right.
But it's.
It does include a little bit of that other one too.
Yeah,
Do we know the password of?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Lost in someone.
But really, if you
For the viewers, apologies for this hiccup.
for all our
That's
adoring
my bad.
fans. But if you haven't read it, really what I would just do now is I would say that that's a blocking issue.
Mhm.
And before I make your final official vote on Lumio this week, I would just get confirmation.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's not.
But I think you already know the process a little bit, indeed, by reading Green Pet's movement sheets.
Yeah, let me just check if I'm ready or not.
And what time do you have to go to the airport?
7:30.
Well, I need to. My flight leaves at 9. So.
Okay. So we just have to go.
But we have to be
bike place.
the bike place. Yeah, exactly.
At before 7 or 7:30.
7.
So we're almost done.
We're almost done. Yeah.
Conflict resolution. So I have really bad memory, right? So.
Have you read and do you agree to the roles process?
Yes.
Okay, cool. The milestone tutorial. This one was like what?
You still ask people for that? We haven't even.
Hey, it's on here, and you know the agreement is whatever is the most updated. It's still fairly relevant.
Of course it is.
It needs to be updated, but it's not like grossly different. Milestone tutorial came out about 6 months ago. You probably read it back then.
Yeah, I read it back then.
And it needs a refresh. Okay, and you have presented your roles. When do you think would be a good time for an evaluation meeting where at least the 3 of us meet up again and discuss, your status with the unicorn DC?
Yeah, I think like in a couple of months.
Okay, yeah, most people have been saying 3 months. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
We can do sooner.
I think for the first maybe 2 months, and then we can just move it into 3. Yeah. Just to get the first months right, and then a little bit.
Let's see. This is everything.
Except because I just read it and I did not read the.
So you'll have to do your homework on that.
Yes,
and,
boss.
And get back to me. We can have a little chat about it after you read it, and then I'll make a final vote for you on Lumio. And assuming that all goes through, it has to be 1 week. So it would be next week would be your first delegation round.
Sounds good.
I
I mean, it's not that long, so I can just read it now before we go.
No, we should go. We should go to your motorbike.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, I'll read it at the airport and then I'll send you.
Okay. We're going to end this live stream. Thank you for witnessing this, Jitsi. Do I just do that?
No.
Right there. Bye.
Bye. Those are my nostrils.